the Horror Hangout podcast where two bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with Kate. I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
Ben Errington.
And we have a special guest today. Georgie Broad is the senior editor and hand of the queen at the Valkyries, your favourite nerdy girl gang, bringing you the freshest, nerdiest content, and she likes horror. A lot, it says in capitals. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, in all capitals. Yes, excited to be here. Very, very honoured. So thank you for having me in your horror house.
Welcome. In our horror house, did you say?
I did.
Oh yeah, never thought of it like that before. But yeah, horror house. Luke, are you the man of the house? Do you wear the trousers in the horror house?
I'm in the garage. I'm stuck in the garage. I can't get out.
Yeah, I thought so. You're
So
in the
no.
garage. You can't get out.
I can't even
I'm
wear
in
the
house
pants
just
in here.
gallivanting. You don't have to wear the pants in there, remember?
Exactly. The man who wears the pants chooses not to most of the time.
That's
I've
the
noticed.
ultimate power move.
That is
Yeah.
a power move.
It depends where
What
you leave
about-
him.
what about
If they're
when the
folded
post-
away, it's not that power movie. But if you've left them in the living room floor, whoa, watch out for that guy.
As alpha.
I'm not laughing at the fact someone just called Luke Alpha. I'm just laughing. You know?
In general,
Just laughing. What would you do when the postman comes down in the garage, though, Luke? This is a good question.
Postman doesn't come
Does
in
he
the garage.
bang on the garage
He
door?
does bang on the garage door though. And I always kind of
Yeah.
emerge looking quite annoyed, rubbing my eyes.
confused and in a mild state of undress, apparently.
Yeah, he always
Amazon
looks quite
package.
confused. He's either confused or bemused. It's somewhere between. It's somewhere in the amused region at the person who's in the garage, because it's a normal garage, like it's not connected to the house or anything. So I must go inside and sort of close myself in. It's not a normal situation.
What do you think you're doing in there? You should just smear some oil all over your arms just so he thinks you're
What?
tinkering away on a
Oh,
muscle
yeah.
car.
Well, I was thinking of getting some overalls, just to kind of
Adds to the illusion.
yeah, grease on
Yeah,
the
but
nose.
you'll come out wearing overalls, and he won't think mechanic. He'll think whimsical painter.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
Bob Ross wannabe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no downsides, basically, is what we're saying.
So,
That's what we're saying. Yeah,
I'll get some overalls.
please
for sure.
do.
Yeah. So you like horror a lot, Georgie. How did this happen? Were you traumatized as a child, like most of us, or were you later to horror?
Basically, I mean, a bit of both. I think my dad gave me a Stephen King book when I was way too young to have read a Stephen King book. It was Needful Things, which is still one of my favourite books. I adore it. But my parents weren't big into horror films as such, so that came a little bit later. I liked my scary books and my scary stories. That's how I initially came into it. As I said to you guys, I've got a lot of Stephen King books. He was my gateway into horror. And then I kind of branched out, as everyone does, like at the 16, 17 mark, watch all the scary films, become obsessed with Romero, and that's how it goes.
So Romero and King. So you must be a big fan of the Dark Half adaptation, which I've not actually seen.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot to be said for Stephen King adaptations in general, and there's some that are just next level, and some that I'm just really.
Which is the best adaptation, and why is it Doctor Sleep?
I haven't seen it yet. I've not seen it.
You've not seen it?
I
It's a
haven't,
really
no.
good adaptation.
Oh,
I think so, anyway.
it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard really, really, really good stuff about it when it came out. Actually, I just never actually got around to seeing it.
Did you see the trailer for The Stand for like last week? The new adaptation of The Stand with one of the Sarsgaard people in it.
Was it Bill?
Maybe Goldberg's in it as well. Maybe
Alex
Bill. Not Bill.
Skarsgård.
Oh, was it
Alex,
Alex
that's
Bowl
it.
one?
Sarsgaard.
Is Bill the
The what?
Pennywise
The
one?
Tarzan
Bill
one.
Pennywise, yeah.
Yes, the Tarzan
The Tarzan one.
Yeah, Bill is the, yes, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks all right. I think it's going to be like a limited series apparently, but
I think
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot to
alright.
be said for doing stuff like in limited series form, to be honest. I think
yeah,
it could work really well in that kind of episodic series kind of format.
That's what
came out originally, you know. Obviously, there's something to be said for it.
that's what I wanted for the Dark Tower, but no.
No.
Weren't they
You will
thinking of
have
doing
this.
a TV show anyway as well? I seem to recall Amazon were going to do something.
At some for the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been, I think it was discussed, wasn't it, before and even after. They were like, oh, maybe we'll still do this, but
Yeah.
I think anything's been kind of like fully set in stone or in motion with it. I know they spoke about it, didn't they?
Yeah.
yeah. What else
So-
has been adapted Stephen King wise recently?
Well, he had loads. There was like a period where there's like you couldn't get away from them.
Doctor Sleep, Gerald's Game.
Yeah. Jazz Game's good.
What else?
The Mist they redid they decided to go for like a bad TV show this time around.
They remade,
I
yeah.
didn't watch that, so couldn't tell you.
There was that Castle Rock TV show, which I've still not seen season 2 of. But season 1, I
No.
was like, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like anything like a Stephen King story.
Yeah.
Even though it's full of
That's
Stephen
the
King
thing.
characters.
His aesthetic is so specific, and his vibe is so certain. If that's off, then it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like Mike Flanagan doing Stephen King stuff, because in interviews he always talks about how he's read like all of the Stephen King books, and you can tell like he genuinely loves it, and it comes across in the adaptations. Like the Doctor Sleep movie does feel like a Stephen King book in a lot of ways, for better or worse.
the bearable.
Yeah, I really liked it, and
Yeah.
I really liked the book as well. You know, and it felt like one of the best realizations of that. You know, sometimes when you picture a book so much in your head, and then when you go and see the film, you're like, this ain't like what was in my brain at all.
Yeah.
Failed.
But when it is, it's like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. But yeah, obviously he just loves the old Stephen King so much. Not saying that my vision of it was so spot on,
Yeah.
but maybe
But you, little bit.
a little bit.
I've got some news for the first time ever, Ben. I know you're normally
Okay.
the news guy.
Yeah, I Google horror news 5 minutes before the podcast every week.
Well, Fede Alvarez is producing the new sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So they put a poster out.
I'll just close that tab, which I had open.
They put a poster out. It's produced by Fede. I thought Fede was going to direct it, which is still hoping he might. He seems like such a perfect person to do it. Like he's with the Evil Dead remake, he kind of nailed that.
Yeah. Did we not? Forgive me, because I feel like I'm lost a little bit with the old Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff. Wasn't there a film just called Leatherface like last year, 2 years ago?
I
swear there was.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
I swear there was. Like, how are we supposed to believe that this is going to be any different?
This is the Halloween sequel that I did. This is like
okay.
a sequel to the very first one.
Got you.
Yeah.
Just poo-pooing the every other installment, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way.
Although
to do it.
that's the way to do it. Have you, George? Have you seen like the sequels? Have you seen like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 or 3?
I haven't seen the second one. I remember I watched the
favourite
first
film.
one, and it was terrifying. Then Heather and I did a horror movie marathon for the charity, and we thought, we'll try and put all the films in good places, really compelling ones when people are going to be watching. We'll put, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre we ended up putting at about 3 a.m. And I hate that film now because we were exhausted, and at 3 a.m. all you can hear is like a chainsaw and people screaming, and I was just, get this off, please, make this end.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That film's got quite a piercing timbre. Like it's the chainsaw, and also there's the bit where they're trying to get the old man to hit her in the head with a hammer, and everyone's just like saying stuff. It's instant headache every time.
We thought if we put that on, it might kind of keep us awake.
Yeah.
It just annoyed us. That's all.
Yeah.
The second one feels like that, but dialed up to 11. It's like
Great.
so, yeah, but not good.
No.
Literally, like, oh god, make it stop. You guys, that was a 24-hour thing you did, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Wow. How do you recommend doing that at all? I know you guys
No,
did it for
I'm
a
not.
charitable cause, but
I felt every hour of that 24 hours. It was good. There were very few people that I could spend that extended amount of time with. I'm glad that she was one of them.
yep. There we go.
Yeah.
Lovely
I don't think I've
compliment
ever
there.
stayed up that long before. I don't think it's possible for me to do that. I think
Feels like
Yeah,
it.
it was an effort. It was like I said, when we got to that kind of time, the kind of 3, 4 a.m. It was
yeah.
Mm.
not
I think, Luke, we discussed doing it at one point, didn't we? I think around about the time we hit 100 episodes, so this is now episode 151.
Oh yeah.
I think partly inspired by you guys. I think we said we're going to do a 24-hour, and for some reason, it's just never happened, Luke.
Well, there's
Why
always.
not?
I do worry that we'll make a big deal out of it, and I'll be asleep by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have one beer. I'll have one beer, and I'll be like, bloody cozy in here.
nice and snuggly. Yeah.
Especially like around about what time of the year did you do it? Because if we do it around like autumn, winter, as soon as I get cozy.
Yeah.
It was kind of. I feel like it was in the summer, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was, like you said, a better advice. It got dark a lot later, so it didn't feel as dramatic.
The worst place would be autumn, just after work when you get on the bus and it's rocking and it's quite warm and everyone's kind of like snuggled up a little bit.
It's rocking you to sleep.
Rocking.
Oh,
Yeah.
bloody lovely. Okay. Any other horror news that you've seen, Luke?
No, I don't. It's normally your thing. I just had the one.
Oh well,
The
you
one.
went flying in there with one.
Sorry, I got
This so
excited.
this poster is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one. So what are they calling it? Are they calling the film the Texas Chainsaw Massacre again? Doing like the Halloween thing?
Yeah, that's the way to go, isn't it? Just call it Texas Chainsaw Massacre again, like that again.
There was
Texas Chainsaw
also
Massacre
a
again.
film just
Again.
called Texas Chainsaw, was there not?
I think they've done all different ways of doing that phrase.
Every way you can break that down.
Texas. They've even started to
Chainsaw
merge
Massacre in
words.
Texas, yeah.
The
Yeah.
Texas. Okay. Okay. Other news that I've seen. So I don't know if you guys are fans of Dexter, but that's coming back. Limited revival from Showtime. What does a limited revival mean? 10 episodes, which is apparently going to be a continuation of the original series, which ended with. Oh, I won't spoil it.
It's been long.
But it ended. What was that?
It's been long enough. You can spoil it.
Okay. It ended with Dexter like just going self-imposed exile as like a lumberjack, right?
Well, no, it
Living a
ended with
solitary
him
life.
driving a boat into a tornado, didn't it? And then
I don't remember.
the corridor was like I remember there being like a big tornado and he just rides his
That's
boat towards
Twister.
it.
You watched?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And
Like,
someone must have changed
I
the
wasn't
channel.
I wasn't super into it. I just kind of saw a bit here and there.
First two
So,
seasons are
don't
great.
know.
I think up to the John
Yeah,
Lithgow
yeah.
season. I think anything after that, it kind of lost its charm.
How many seasons? How many seasons were there of that?
I want to say 7.
Ah,
It was under 10, I
Yeah.
think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
okay, so that's one thing. That's happening. Also, we've seen a few more looks at Anne Hathaway in The Witches and what she's potentially going to look like. So obviously now she's got. I guess you guys have all seen the image of her with the big grin. The people are calling it Pennywise, but I think it looks more like a Fright Night sort of smile, doesn't it? With the
Yeah.
sharp teeth.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm hoping it's going to scar a new generation of children, because if they get let off and not scarred by it, I'll be absolutely fuming, because I was obviously scarred and terrified by the original.
The problem is these ones don't seem to have like these the Goosebumps, the Goosebumps movie and the new Ghostbusters don't see the CGI kind of effects don't have the same kind of effect on you that the old rotoscoping and practical effects had. Like the bit where the witches reveal themselves and they turn him into a mouse, that felt kind of real. I know it didn't look great like the mouse effects, but it still looked more tangible.
Yeah, it
than...
was definitely an effect where like a kid was like halfway between mouse
Yeah.
and human that I remember.
Yeah, I think he had like a
Like,
tail sticking out and like a mouse nose and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that being pretty effective.
And it's all kind of sweaty and greasy. Like that doesn't come across in CGI. The moistness.
That's my thing.
I like Anne Hathaway, and then the cast looks great. You know, Octavia Spencer, Stanley Tucci, your mate Luke, and apparently is Chris Rock involved somehow? He's listed here.
Ah, that was the voice I heard. I think
he's the voice of somebody.
Yeah, I think so.
Got you. Let's see what happens in it. I'm sure it'll be enjoyable to a degree, but that comes out soon. That comes out on like oh my god, 2 days.
Is it that soon?
Yeah.
I thought it was ages away. Oh man.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Yeah, I know. Okay, there we go. There's that. Other news. So I'm out today. Amnesia Rebirth on PC, PS4. I think it's been delayed on a few other things. Apparently it's good. What do you think, Luke? You gonna get it?
I've still not done the first one. I need to plow through the first one. It was just too scary. But I've been training up on like horror games since then. I think I'd be much better equipped mentally. I've got my techniques now. You never stop pressing forward. And never linger on a door. If you stop at a door in a game, you're just never going to go through it. Just give up. Just turn it off at that point. You just have to keep going forward and keep opening the doors.
Did you play any of these, Georgie?
I leave the games to Heather. I'm like Nintendo and Mario Kart is like where I'm at in terms of gaming levels, to be honest. Maybe like Snake.
Nintendo.
Yeah,
Snake. Yeah.
Have you checked in on your Nintendo recently?
I sold my Nintendo to CEX and he funded.
Oh no!
I know, right? I'm a terrible mom.
Just waiting at the door. It's pulling at the door, just waiting for you to come back.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'll go back.
So hungry. Right. So I started playing The Evil Within, Luke.
Oh yeah.
Have you played that?
No, but it's made by the guy who made Resident Evil 4, right?
Yeah, and I think the original Resident Evil and Resident Evil 4.
Oh right, okay.
He's the director. I can't get on so far. I can't get on with it. It's just the mechanics.
I've heard the second one's better. I've no idea, but if that's any consolation.
It's frustrating me. You know when like a game tries to sort of represent some sort of mental illness or something, but it's got to the point where like it's unplayable. Where I'm like just walking through and just having flashbacks and all this stuff. Right. It's nuts. Not really me. I mean, in the game's making. It's not me going, oh, fuck. Yeah, I don't like it, and I'm annoyed because I took ages to download it. That's it took like 40 gigabytes of download.
I've just been playing so much Rocket League that I struggle to play other games at the minute.
Rocket League is hella addictive. That's what I tried to do. I've been playing Rocket League for weeks, and I thought I'd try and play a game with an actual narrative, rather than just driving full pelt at a ball. And turns out, no, it's not for me. Maybe I'll never go back. I'll never go back to horror games ever again. Yeah. I think I'm going to pick up Amnesia maybe at some point soon, because I like the others. So we'll have a look. And what else? That's pretty much it in terms of direct horror news. I did want to talk to Georgie about her Kickstarter, her successful Kickstarter for Fright Nights, the Wendigo RPG review that you and Heather from the Valkyries have put together. Tell us all about it.
Okay. Any excuse to talk about it, I will take. So a while ago, for a charity initiative that we did, we worked with the guys at Jump Cut Online for. We thought it would be very on brand for us to kind of create an RPG, and people can come play in it, and then we'll release the video. Critical Role Who, of us playing this RPG for charity. And then afterwards, everyone seemed to really enjoy it, genuinely, not just on camera. We thought, well, why don't we kind of actually make it into something that other people can play? And so we started kind of compiling it all together. And then came the idea of doing a kind of Monster of the Week series. So little one-shots, because the hardest thing to do for RPGs is get people together consistently, like on a regular basis. So, one shot, one night, monster of the week, here's your scary thing, fight it and survive type thing. A little bit of a twist, because one of the players who is playing the game will also play the monster, so they get to kind of interact with the other players as the monster, as opposed to it being kind of like an NPC. So yeah, it's exciting, and we just hope people are going to like it.
So I've never done a Dungeons and Dragons type thing. Is this that kind of role playing game?
So I mean, it's similar in that it is a role playing game, but we try to make it as simple as possible so that it can be something that people who've never ever played, but also people that have played a lot, might enjoy. So instead of like a monumentally thick book of rules like you get for D&D, we've got, you need one 6-sided die.
One rule. That's all I need.
Yeah, and it's like, is it a high number or a low number? You're dead or you're alive. It's as complicated as we got with it, really.
Yeah.
So is this the first in a potential series of Monster of the Week style?
Hopefully, yes. So this one's the one with the Wendigo, and we've got about 3 in our brains that we want to kind of directly crack on with once we've got this one under our belt. So
sweet. And you guys are not just 100% funded, but
no.
What percent now? You said it was 666. The number of the beast, man.
Roughly, I think, yeah. Our original goal was £150, and we're now at nearly £1,050.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
very, very good going. Well done. Congratulations. What does hitting that goal mean then? Does that mean that we'll see potentially a follow-up sooner, or just more cool stuff with the...
More cool stuff initially. So we got some fantastic artists, Donna and Amy, to kind of commission. We've got some prints commissioned, and they're good enough to kind of design these prints for us that we're able to give away as a stretch goal. And it means we might be able to get some more dice for people, which is good. People like those. And it's a case of, going towards the printing costs and stuff. We figured out our margins. Obviously, we're going to package everything in the most extra way we possibly can. We're not going to make it simple.
Are you guys, is it a physical thing, but are you going to be a digital version as well?
We've offered different tiers, so you can get either just a digital copy, a physical one too, because it's nice to have an RPG but you can hold in your hands and flick through, or you can get both. One of the tiers you can get both the physical and the PDF version.
Cool.
Sounds awesome. So that's on Kickstarter currently.
It is, 11 days left.
So it's called Fright Nights Wendigo RPG. That's where people can find it, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
What would be the next monster? So you said this is the one with the Wendigo, which I like that naming scheme, by the way. It's kind of the Friends thing. What's the what would the next one be?
I don't know if I'm at liberty to say. However, it might be particularly thematic to what we are talking about today.
Oh,
no idea.
Interesting. No idea though. No, I'm completely baffled.
No idea. Terrifying.
No idea.
Oh my god, get it out. I thought it was so cryptic as well.
That sounds awesome though, because I think my favourite episodes are things like the X-Files, with the Monster of the Week ones. So
Tombs.
that'd be really cool.
The Tombs episodes. What was that guy? What was he? The stretchy guy. Do you know what I mean?
He was just a guy trying to live his life. All right.
Trying to live his best life.
In the
Making
vents.
a nest.
Just trying.
In the vents. He was just all right.
I can do that thing anyway.
He was fine by me.
You sort of have your arms like that. You just one over the top like that. You keep going.
Yeah.
You keep going.
Eventually, your arms reach across the room. You don't have to get up off the seat to grab the remote.
Sitting there pedaling.
Is that you come out the garage at the end of the day, just squeeze under a little gap?
That's how I open the door. And
I agree.
Once it's open.
Oh wow.
Let's squeeze out the gap.
Okay. The only other thing I had to mention is that Hawk and Cleaver's own The Other Stories has a new horror, I don't know why I said it like that, audio anthology, which is out on Sunday night at 9 p.m. That is when it premieres. And it's the Halloween Horrors of Old Mill Lane. It stars the voice of Emily Booth, who you may recognise. She's been in films and stuff, but she's also the voice of the Horror Channel. She tells you what. Does she just tell you what's coming up next? She does loads of stuff on there. But yeah, so she's narrating. Well, she's essentially the host, and it's a different story every night of the week leading up to Halloween. It's an anthology with different writers, different narrators, and a really big, nice, scary, collaborative effort, and should be exciting. So if you're a fan of Horror Hangout, then go and check out the other Hawk and Cleaver podcast. The Other Stories, very nice.
Lovely. Right.
Lovely. I'll see by your stunned silence that you were very excited. I'm excited. So
I'm hyped for it.
So hyped. Cool. That's that. What are we on to next? What have we been watching?
Yeah. Have you guys been watching anything good?
Anything good? No.
Well, oh dear. What have you been watching?
Good. Very short opinion though, because I went to see Saint Maud.
Oh.
Hang on, I'll just set the stage because this is the film that people are saying is the saviour of British cinema or British genre cinema. It's meant to be amazing. By the way, by your snickering, I'm imagining that you really liked it.
I'm aware that it's not been out for very long, so I'm going to try and be as cryptic as I possibly can. I don't want to give anything, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But I really didn't like it.
I'm going to try and be cryptic. I hated it.
I think it's because I went in with all of that hype,
hype's not a good fit. Hype ruins films in a weird way. It gets people into the seats, but it ruins the experience.
Absolutely. And I think the A24 Facebook group that I'm in is not always the most kind of welcoming and friendly place, and I'm actually scared to put any opinions in there because I feel like I'll be chased with pitchforks. But it had a really great premise for me. I'm a really big fan of religious iconography in film. I literally wrote my undergraduate dissertation on it, so I went in and I was like, oh, it's gonna be so good. And when you need to sneeze but you lose the sneeze and you just kind of sat there like, ugh.
Oh god, yeah, I know that.
At the end of it.
You know when you need to yawn, or if someone needs to yawn, if you stick your finger in the mouth, it stops them. It's dead frustrated. Like you can't complete your yawn.
That was Saint Maud
on the bus stop.
Yeah.
You were in a cinema, and someone stuck their finger in your mouth.
In the middle of a pandemic as well. I mean,
oh god.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I mean, I still want to watch it, but I'm going to go in expecting terrible things.
I think so. I saw it,
did.
and I think maybe where the hype, I've managed to avoid the hype. Usually, I'm like the worst for the hype. Like I was so hyped for Suicide Squad that I pretty much did a cartwheel into the cinema.
Oh no, you poor thing.
And yeah.
Oh no.
I think the hype had me so much that I was like fighting myself to like convince myself that I did like it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that where you're like, nah, it was all right. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was fine. St. Maud, I hadn't seen a trailer. I'd only seen like the posters, and I'd only read like maybe the tagline. So I think because I'd come off the back of watching some other kind of psychological horrors like that. I mean, I watched Possum only a few weeks ago. I don't know if you've seen that. That's kind of it felt like it was very much in the same. It was in like a bleak British setting, with like a character, a tortured character. So I kind of, because I liked Possum, and I was kind of still in the frame of mind of enjoying that, and I didn't expect whatever I guess you would have expected from some of the hype you would have seen. So I guess I'm lucky. What I'm trying to say is I'm lucky is that
How long is it?
I didn't love it.
How long is
I
it?
didn't absolutely.
Yeah.
It's quite short. It's only like 90 minutes,
Okay.
I believe.
Perfect film length, I think.
Yeah, that's a good film length. I didn't love it. I wasn't like, oh, that was a saviour of British cinema. Okay, it really was. I was kind of just like, yeah,
Yeah.
bit like that.
Yeah.
But I understand why people didn't like it. I've seen a few negative reviews of it, and from a lot of like horror fans that I respect the opinions of, yourself included, Georgie, of course.
I
But
thought you said that was me.
like people that perhaps I'm thinking, wow, I can't believe you didn't like it. I'm surprised. But yeah, I completely understand. It's going to be a film that's going to divide opinion, I believe. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else?
I finished The Haunting of Bly Manor last night, which is Mike Flanagan's. Was it 2 years ago he did The Haunting of Hill House, which was really big. Everyone really liked it, and I guess it's technically a sort of sequel. It's like some of the same actors, but it's like a new haunted story. It's based on I was going to say The Innocents, but The Turning of the Screw. And it's not. I mean, it's no way near as scary or as creepy as Hill House was. Like, it's almost, there's like no scares at all. Really, there's like one kind of creepy moment, I guess, but it feels more mature. I would say the storytelling seems a little bit more cohesive and a little better. But I wouldn't watch this if you were looking for like a Halloween October scary TV show. It feels more like a melodrama, like a period drama with some the background of ghosts being in the house, but they're not really scary at all. I don't know. I liked it, but I would say I'd be hesitant to tell a horror fan to go jumping in.
Diving in. I've seen 5 episodes of it so far, and I'm definitely at a crossroads now where I feel like, do I continue and hopefully it gets better, or do I? And I've been distracted by The Boys, because I started The Boys and I was like, I need to watch all of The Boys, every episode before I go back to Bly Manor, because it's just
Boys is a good time. Boys is a really good time.
Yeah.
That's I think
good adaptations.
Yeah.
Have you guys both seen all of the second series now?
I have.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen it all, but I think I've had the finale. I say spoiled for me, but I'm not too bothered about knowing what happens. With this, anyway, it doesn't feel like. I feel like you can kind of predict the arc of most of it, but I wasn't too bothered about the second series when it first was announced and when it came out. I was a bit like, I don't know if I'm all too bothered. And then somebody told me a little bit about Stormfront, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to watch this then. And I'm not disappointed by what they've done with Stormfront. And
well, you should should keep going.
No, I'm gonna keep
definitely keep.
Hell
going.
yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Hell yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
I wasn't enjoying season 2 as much as season 1, but the final episode is fantastic. It's really good.
Oh man, Homelander is just. It's hard to describe him without using words that everyone uses to describe him, but he actually makes my skin crawl. And I can't remember the last time a villain did that to me. He actually makes me go, oh god, you are such a
prick.
You'd want to knock him out, wouldn't you? But you couldn't. You'd want to knock him out, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. He is just a narcissist of the. Sorry, Georgie, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say you're completely right. That's what makes a good villain. You have enough villains that you can't predict their actions, and that's what makes him so.
Oh yeah.
You don't know what he's going to do next.
That is one thing that really gets me. Is that I think if he existed in the world, you would want to kick his ass, but you'd know that it's just. It's great though, and I like the fact that Stormfront is now. She's a different sort of villain, because Homelander, narcissistic, serving really only himself and his goals and his Stormfront. That's a whole different kettle of fish. So I'm excited to see where it goes, and I will probably finish it within the next couple of nights, because I am at that point now. And I love that with a TV show where you do finish an episode and you go, well, I'm going to have to watch the next one straight away.
Yeah.
Whereas with Bly Manor, I was a bit like, well, I don't want to watch another one for a week, maybe.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what you think of the last episode.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, of the last episode. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, it's 8 episodes long, which I think is a very nice length of series. I feel like when it starts getting into 10 and 12 territory, I start finding myself a bit fatigued.
Oh yeah, me for sure. But I actually finished this one and I was like, what? It's over already.
Oh, right, okay.
I was like,
That's
kind of,
good.
yeah, it was really good. Like, it's the best way to end a TV show, to kind of be left wanting another season right away. Like, I'm already kind of disappointed to have to wait like a year or two to get the next one.
Cool. Anything else? Anybody watched anything else of note?
I will shout out one other film, if I may.
Yeah,
I've been at London Film. Well, I haven't been at London Film Festival because of the pandemic. I've been at home watching London Film Festival, and there was some very, very interesting horror offerings this year. My favourite by far was Rose: A Love Story, which is kind of like a riff on the vampire myth. Wasn't meant to rhyme, but it did, and that is a considerably better British horror film than St. Maud. So if any of you get the chance to watch Rose: A Love Story, then I really recommend it.
I thought, Ben, you watched Possessor, right? Was that London Film Festival film?
It was.
Yeah.
What did you think?
You saw it as well, Georgie, yes?
I saw half of it and turned it off because I didn't vibe with it at all.
Is that the Cronenbergian sort of vibe?
Yeah, and I love David Cronenberg, so I thought, Brandon Cronenberg's sick, gonna be great, but I just couldn't. I didn't do it for me.
I've no idea what to expect. I mean,
again,
the way people are reacting to it, I'm kind of expecting like a quite cold, clinical film, like early Cronenberg, like Shivers or something like that. But I've no idea. But I know you liked it, or I know some of our friends liked it.
Yeah. So you've been reviewing stuff, haven't you, Georgie, for the Valkyries? So you've seen loads of London Film Festival bits and bobs, haven't you? Was that the highlight though? Would you say?
I love that one.
How did you review? Sorry, I'm just firing questions at you. Go on. So you love that one? Did you say there was another one?
That was fantastic. Relic as well was really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Australian horror is like top tier, I think.
Yeah.
Big fan. Nice and allegorical. All female cast. Made me cry twice. So it's very emotional.
Yeah. It was an all-female cast, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't even notice. Which is a good thing, I guess. So I saw Possessor. I didn't review loads of films for a London Film Festival. I just paid to watch this one. I think I messaged Georgie like the night of. I was like, if I paid for it, do I have to watch it? Like, do I have to sit in my seat at that moment? Because I think I ended up having my daughter stay over, and I was a bit like, I'm going to watch this film, and you're just going to have to deal with it, right? And there was so much nudity. There was so much nudity. I was watching it on my computer, and Megan was watching like Hocus Pocus or something, and I was like, oh, for God's sake! Every time turning around to see if she was even like peeking. No, luckily not. So I really did vibe with it, and I was a bit hyped for it. I was super hyped for this because I've watched like the trailers, been reading about it loads, read a lot of reviews, and I was a little bit worried initially because sometimes you can kind of tell straight away, can't you? You're a bit like, oh, this ain't quite what I was expecting. But it definitely went in the direction that I hoped, and so it felt like a sensory overload for me. It was like visually, it was like this uber violent science fiction body horror. The visuals were like mind bending, and I think what I appreciate about it the most is that it's a concept that seems really simple, but as it progresses, it's almost like presents like unlimited potential. I'm like, so much could happen with it. Like, who's to say we wouldn't get a series with this sort of stuff? And they'd really, I'm not saying I want that. I'm just saying that the potential. I don't think it didn't quite make the most of that potential. I feel like it could have gone in maybe one or two other ways. However, I thought it was slick. I think that's what I liked about it the most. It felt slick. It felt like the main performances were really good. And
is it slow?
It was like
for some reason, it's because it's got her from Mandy in it, but I'm getting a Panos vibe.
I think it was almost too quick sometimes. There were some bits it could have lingered on certain things a bit more. It kind of went from bang bang bang, like the initial whole story kind of really did kick off quite quickly, whereas I thought maybe we get a little bit more backstory, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, And in terms of violence,
the action, yeah.
yeah, in terms of violence, it was really up there. I loved it. It's probably my favorite of the year. But I know obviously we haven't had a lot to choose from. I was kind of like putting together a list earlier, trying to see what new releases have come out. But yeah, I really loved it. And the only one other thing I saw, which I will just quickly mention, because I watched this like 2 days before Ginger Snaps. So there's a film called The Wolf of Snow Hollow, which is directed by Jim Cummings, written by Jim Cummings, starring Jim Cummings of Thunder Road, and it was really good. I was like, I had like little to no expectation for it, but it was a really good horror comedy, probably more of a comedy, I'd say. Where I think maybe the trailer paints it to look a bit like a horror film with some comedy extras. But yeah, Jim Cummings is awesome. I don't know if you guys have seen Thunder Road.
No, I've listened to interviews with him. I know about him, but I've not seen any of his stuff.
It's really It's really weird to sort of describe his brand of comedy, like after watching Thunder Road and then this. Sorry, after watching this, I haven't seen Thunder Road, but all I've heard about Thunder Road, it's just yeah, it's really good. I'll definitely check it out. It kind of feels like a bit of a old school werewolf tale, I guess, but I can't really say much more other than that. But yeah, check it out. That's it.
I'll just quickly jump in with one because it needs to be mentioned. So should have put out a new horror anthology. If we think of like modern horror anthologies, like good ones, there isn't too many. I think Trick or Treat is probably up there for people. I think this is better than Trick or Treat, and it's in a similar vibe. You know, a little bit campy in a good way, a little bit goosebumpsy, but also like an adult, like a 18 rating. It's called The Mortuary Collection, and it stars Clancy Brown as the sort of the crypt keeper sort of character. He's Montgomery Dark, and he works in a mortuary, and he's sort of guiding this woman around and telling tales about how these different people died. It's really fun, really quick and light, really funny. Got some great gore. Just like a really fantastic, fun Halloween horror anthology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's worth sticking on.
Sounds cool, man. There we go.
And then Ginger Snaps.
Ginger Snaps. Okay. Ginger Snaps. Is there anything else anyone's seen before we jump in to the review?
I'll probably remember in like halfway through, but at the minute.
Just say it halfway through. Even if one of us halfway through a sentence, just fire it in there. Okay. So, Ginger Snaps is a year 2000 Canadian horror film directed by John Fawcett, starring Emily Perkins and Katharine Isabelle. The film focuses on two teenage sisters who have a fascination with death. Do they? They're outcasts in their suburban neighborhood, and they must deal with the tragic consequences when one of them is bitten by a deadly werewolf.
So Rotten Tomatoes has it down as 89%, critics 78% audience. Oh, wow. IMDb 6.8, which I thought it'd be higher than that. Letterboxd 3.6. Some choice reviews. Sarah says, I always thought that Ginger Snaps was a weird title, but then Ginger like snaps, 3.5 stars. Persia put Ginger Snaps more like Ginger Slaps, 4 stars. And then Diamond Bolt put what the fuck did dogs do to the people who made this movie, 2.5 stars. Yeah. Have you This is your first time, right, Ben?
Yeah, so I'd never seen this before, so I didn't really know what the title related to. And then as soon as I found out one of the characters was called Ginger, I was like, what? Oh right, okay. That kind of makes sense. I don't know what I thought it meant, but there we go.
It doesn't feel like she snaps. Like it feels like a slow descent into wolfery.
Yeah.
Wolfery.
There's no snapping.
There's not really any snapping there, but maybe it represents something else. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, this film is. When I think about this film, I think late 90s. It's so late 90s, early 2000s. I think it's just like the score. Like there's a lot of the Amen beat, that kind of beat that was in loads of those songs that are around that sort of time. I don't know. It's a weird, fun. I enjoyed it quite a lot this time around more than previous watches, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. I kind of half expect. I've watched a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s horror recently. Not been impressed by a lot of the stuff I've been watching, revisiting after like not seeing it since I was a teenager. But this was one I'd never seen before, and I thought it was pretty awesome. And I know I mentioned it before the podcast, but Emily Perkins, who plays Bridget, is awesome. She's just great. Like, just a tour de force throughout the film. And yeah, I was very impressed. And I think with the werewolf makeup stuff, and well, you say makeup, but you know, the werewolf effects and things are really good.
I think it's aged
I think it's
really
a really
well.
difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
Aged really well, yeah.
Yeah.
Despite it being like a time capsule of this particular time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also way funnier than I remember it being. Just like little lines that
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I didn't really pick up on before, but there's like a bit where the teacher, they present these like death photos to the teacher, and he says something like, "Oh, I'm offended, aren't I?" And it's just like a really weird like way of phrasing it, but I was like laughing my head off at that.
What is going on with Mimi Rogers as well? Like, I was just baffled by her like throughout all of this.
Oh yeah.
She's like, there's a really odd bit. We'll get to it, but there's a really odd bit where her character takes a real turn, and I was like, what? And what about the dad? I was confused by the dad because at one point there was a ham on the table and he was definitely eating a chicken leg. He was eating a chicken leg when there was a ham on the table. Where'd he get it?
He brought it with him in his pocket. Yeah.
Doggy bag.
Does he say a word? Has he got a line of dialogue?
I think he occasionally kind of sighs and goes like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Might be it.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. You'd seen this before, though, hadn't you, Georgie?
I had, yeah. I had. Like, in my mind, the early 2000s was still like 10 years ago. Like, I'm still in 2007. I always will be. And then it's quite the wake up call where I'm like, oh wait, no, that was actually 20 years ago. But like you say, it's very much, it is like a little time capsule. If you wanted to know what life was like in the early 2000s, you put that on, and that takes you there, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what put me off. Like the last, maybe I watched it 10 years ago or something, but it was like, to me, it felt too like, oh, this feels like too cheesy 2000s-y kind of vibe. But now that I've got a bit more distance from that period, now I quite enjoy going back to it and watching these like House on Haunted Hill movies and 13 Ghosts and those movies from that period. I don't know, they're aging quite good actually. They're getting better.
I mean, another good thing, this film isn't just a straight up monster movie. There are obviously a lot of parallels between the changes of a young woman's body and things like that, and other sort of what other things have we got in the early stages as well? Discovery, sort of like sex as well. Yeah. It's all a bit, you know, it's got a commentary on something and everything pretty much. Not rather than just being there's a werewolf, she's turning into one. Loads of stuff going on.
Yeah. I mean, who we got in it? So, Katharine Isabelle plays Ginger Fitzgerald, who is the slightly cooler, slightly old, I think she's like a year older or something, who has ginger hair. That's important. And she, I recognise her from other stuff. I'm not too sure what though. I feel like she's been in some of a.
She is
TV
in
program or something.
What's that film called? With something about. I was about to say, what's that film called? It is actually something Mary.
Is it something about Mary?
Not something about Mary, but
American
she's in...
Mary, is it?
American Mary, that's it. Where she's.
I was so confused.
Yeah, I know. It was just the wrong wording for it. I knew it as it was coming out of my mouth. I was like, "This is going to be confusing." Something about Mary, American Mary, where she's like doing sort of
Killings.
Black market killings and surgeries and things. She's piercing people's tongues when they're not old enough, stuff like that. Maybe. But also Emily Perkins, I kind of recognise her, but
Yeah.
Has she been in all that much more? I know there are some Ginger Snap sequels, which I've looked into, and looks pretty nuts.
Don't know. Chris Lynch plays the drug dealer Sam, who's kind of the cool guy. He's got a vibe I sort of reckon. I feel like maybe because don't they film a lot of TV in Canada these days? Maybe these people are in these TV shows in Supernatural and your
Maybe
League of Legends of Tomorrow, those kind of TV shows. I don't know. I feel like I recognise them anyway.
Yeah. He's got that very specific, like, the 90s, 2000 boy vibe, hasn't he? With the hair and the plaid shirts and I'm so over it. Like, oh.
Yeah. He was
I'm
wearing...
so over it.
I caught him. Got you. I caught him wearing denim trousers, a denim jacket, and a denim shirt. And I was like, wow, that guy... triple denim. Amazing.
When you say denim trousers, do you mean jeans?
That's what you standard people would call it, but us cool people, yeah. Denim trousers.
He was like dealing drugs, having a party in a greenhouse. He was off his nut, really, wasn't he? And he knew, and for some reason, he knew stuff about werewolves. Why? Just did. You know, I'm into drugs. I'm also into drugs that cure you of lycanthropy.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy who would be on like a constant YouTube rabbit hole. So he goes to the library, reads books on werewolves, I guess. But Mimi Rogers, who plays the mum, Pamela Fitzgerald, I would definitely recognise her from something. 100%.
Oh yeah, Mimi Rogers, Austin Powers. Did you know Mimi Rogers was married to Tom Cruise?
What?
There we go. Lovely little factoid for you there. Sorry if I've ruined the old trivia at the end. Probably not.
No,
but yeah, she was married to Tom Cruise, and I was a bit like, what? And then she got a divorce from Tom Cruise, and then Tom Cruise married what's her name?
Katie.
Nicole Kidman.
Oh,
less than a year later.
And then she divorced him as well.
That's right. No, they rushed into it, obviously, clearly.
Kids these days.
Bloody hell, Tom. Yeah, so there we go. And I was thinking, Mimi Rogers, she's way older than Tom Cruise, but she's not. She's like only a couple of years older than him.
Is Tom Cruise still
with
Katie Holmes? I know this isn't like a celebrity gossip podcast, but are they still together? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I thought they were. I have no idea.
Are either of them still Scientologists?
I think he is.
Sort it out, Tom. Okay. That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. So that's all the characters. So how does it start? So they live in a place called Bailey Downs. That's not a real place, is it?
I don't believe so, but I don't know. Bailey Downs.
So they kind of live in the basement together.
Oh, they've got a really cool like partitioned studio basement thing going on.
Yeah,
it's like a maze.
We understand. Bridget's younger, but they're in the same year at school, aren't they? So
she skipped a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show off.
Yeah, by accident. Whoops.
Oh no! I've only gone and skipped a year. Yeah, and they're like really close, and they take a lot of photos of each other in different states of dead. It's so edgy, isn't it? It's like, I'm just gonna take a load of Polaroids of me dead, like for.
Yeah.
To be 60.
Yeah, exactly. What were they listening to in the year 2000? They were definitely listening to him.
Yeah, it's 100% him. They draw heartograms on all the exercise books in school.
I'm getting like aggressive flashbacks now of how many him. Oh my god! Oh,
it did feel like the whole plot of this could be like a music video, like a Korn music video, a him music video. Yeah. Maybe not Korn actually, but him definitely. Sort of like the new metal It's a bit too early for emo, isn't it? It's sort of like it's the new metal stuff. But yeah, I just kept thinking that, and I was kind of a bit disappointed we didn't get more sort of songs in the soundtrack that were more recognizable.
Yeah, but it did have a few metal moments, wasn't it? There was the bit where Ginger attacks someone and like some distorted guitars Come on.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't have the rights though, so it was just it was what's his name? It was Sam playing guitar. I'm so over this, man.
Literally, yeah.
Want to buy some weed or not?
So there's been a load of dog killings. I think it even opens on a dead dog.
Yeah.
But people don't seem to be. Oh, so a woman. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is how it's a good open actually. A woman finds her dog absolutely obliterated in the kennel. Like the fence has been ripped off. She screams, goes into the cul-de-sac where there's kids playing ice hockey or street hockey. There's the two sisters are listening to American Head Charge. I don't know. And then like she screams and no one pays any attention. People are just like carrying on with what they're doing.
They even laugh. I think some of the kids even laugh. They go, "Ha ha, pain and anguish and sorrow." Ha ha.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah. What happens? The kid he's playing with something, isn't he? And then he picks up a dog paw.
Dog paw.
He's playing in like a sandbox or something, I think, in the garden.
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
just goes over to check on it. He's covered in blood, holding like a dismembered paw. Like,
yeah.
right, Mom. And then just
Oh,
paw.
Scarred for life.
Good girl.
Give me your paw. Give me your paw. Not like that.
Yeah. So also Ginger and Bridget have a pact that they're going to die together by the age of 16. But Bridget doesn't seem that into it anymore. Like, it's one of those things she's probably said one night and just went along with it. And then now it's kind of isn't sure. But Ginger seems genuinely into it. She's keen on being dead.
Like, when they do it, she'll be going to drink the bleach like that, but Bridget would do it, but let it just go down the side of her face.
Yeah.
Are you drinking it? Are you drinking it as well? Yeah. Yeah.
It tastes good, doesn't it? What?
Oh, very lemony. Yeah, so again, that's proper edgy as well, isn't it? We're going to kill ourselves by the age of 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're introduced to like the dynamics of what they've got going on at school. So there's like, they're obviously not the popular girls. There's some popular girls who got a bit of jip with them, like just being a bit mean.
Yeah.
At one point, they're all playing like, is it hockey?
Yeah.
But I like just playing it in just like a really long cardigan, and I was just like, that's not right. That's just, you get all caught up in the cardigan with the stick.
It's a hockey cardigan.
hockey.
The ball,
Standard.
the ball end up in one of those big pockets.
That's how you win, isn't it? Land it in your
What
pocket.
was that? Go on, George. What are you going to say now?
Like hockey seems to be a bit of a recurrent theme. Like the kids are playing in the street. They're always playing hockey, and then
Canadian, isn't it?
there's that kid with the dog and the hockey stick the whole time. Like
Canada, innit? I think
love-
it's their,
I can't
their
approach.
nationals.
That's a good point.
Just give the hockey a bloody go. Give it a rest, sorry. Just
If
leave
we introduced a football into that country, they'd be changed within moments.
They'd
The
hit it with the sticks.
It'd be
the
like
hockey
when
sticks.
in The Simpsons where they introduced a frog to Australia. Like, it will spread like wildfire. It's just well better than holding a stick and trying to hit a tiny
It'll be
ball.
Like it'll be like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where they all just gather around it and just start hitting it with hitting it with a bone. Yeah. So there's that, and then there's like three guys watching them, and it's a bit like cliche, adolescent boys like going, "Oh, she bloody get it! Oh yeah, I bet she's already," like kind of being a bit like that about Ginger and Bridget, which they kind of hear. Yeah. So this has got some parallels to Jennifer's Body, hasn't it? A little bit. I've seen them
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but it did give me those sort of vibes. Where, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Georgie, which I'm sure I'm going to be. Doesn't Megan Fox start off as like a bit of an outsider, not particularly thought of as attractive?
Which is a wild concept in and of itself.
Which is a wild concept, yeah.
So Jennifer's Body is basically the pinnacle of cinema. I'm just going to put that out there now. It's one of my favorite films.
The pinnacle of cinema.
It, it's one of those films that did so dirty when it came out, and everyone dismissed it, but it's incredible. But yeah, it's very similar in that she starts out kind of, she's more popular than her friend Needy, and I guess, like you said, the parallels
Her
can be
name's
drawn.
Needy.
Yeah, it's Anita, but she gets called Needy.
Okay. Right, okay. Yeah.
And then the descent into I almost said bestiality then, but that's not the word I'm trying to say.
Wow.
Into
And I haven't seen it.
I missed the actual word you were trying to say. What word was it?
like becoming a beast.
Okay. She's descended to becoming a beast, not having sex with beasts, but
not that, yeah.
becoming a beast.
Not that.
So is she like? I don't want to spoil Jennifer's body for anyone who's not seen it, but
I've not seen it.
I can't really remember. Is she just like possessed by something, or
Again, I'm not to spoil it, but there is a ritual that not to spoil it.
Oh yeah, there's a ritual. Okay, I remember now.
The prerequisite is that she's a virgin and she is not, so it kind of goes topsy turvy.
Yeah,
I just caught Virgin Topsy Turvy, so I think I avoided the
virgin.
spoilers.
Yeah, so it did kind of remind me of that. I was getting those sort of vibes where, like, even though Ginger and Bridget are outsiders, Ginger is still like desired
Ginger
by
Biscuit, then. Ginger and
Ginger
Biscuit.
Biscuit.
That'd be a wicked nickname for Bridget. Biscuit.
Yeah. Why hadn't anybody done that? In America, Canada, they didn't call it biscuits, do they?
I don't know what they call them in Canada. In America, scones are like biscuits, right?
Oh yeah.
Who knows what?
If you ask for biscuits and gravy, in
it's like white gravy. It's not even gravy. It's like a creamy white stuff.
Grim.
But yeah, these guys, the guys who are watching them play hockey are, if they're not 2000s cliches, they've got baggy jeans, spiky hair, chains. They look like Papa Roach.
I think it is Papa. I did notice that is Papa Roach.
I was like, hang on a minute, that's Papa Roach there. Halfway through, like they were making a video and then they
Papa
stopped,
Roach,
sat down.
Brother Roach, Son Roach, all of them.
The whole
The whole Roach family.
Wow. Yeah. So there we go. So this dynamic sort of set up fairly early, where we understand the relationship between the girls. So they're super, super close, aren't they?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess that kind of
Bridget gets knocked down by
Yep.
a bully girl, and then Ginger says, "Don't touch my sister again, because I'll kill you." And then they plan to steal her dog to make it look like it died.
So the bully's name is Trina Sinclair. That is a classic bully name right there.
Yeah.
If someone would have said to me, "Oh, we're going to meet someone called Trina Sinclair later," I'd be like,
Run away crying.
no. What's she going to do to me?
Yeah.
She's going to steal my lunch buddy. Trina Sinclair. Yeah, so is that what they plan to do? They plan to steal her dog?
Well, they're going to make it look like the beast of Bailey Downs got the dog.
Yeah, okay.
But when they go
Yeah,
to get it at night time, in fact, I think so. They're at home and they have like they're calling the mum a tit box, or they're like swearing at her. And the mum's like, "Right, go to your room. You're not going out tonight. You can't do anything." The dad's like, "They never go out anyway." And it cuts to them just walking down the street casually because they're gonna go and steal the dog. But when they get there, they find the dog's already kind of mauled, like completely obliterated. I keep saying that about the dogs because it's not like a normal death. Like they pick up a dog leg and it comes off like a cooked turkey breast. Like it all.
It's dog milk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't before this happened,
Yeah.
Ginger like gets her period for the first time, because there's definitely a moment later when she gets attacked and she goes,
It's because of that,
maybe
yeah.
it's smelled blood.
Maybe it's because she does say that.
So they're
I
like-
just think of Anchorman.
don't they
Yeah.
mention that they're like oh,
Bears.
right.
Yeah, go on.
So how come, like, she's getting her period quite late? Do they mention that they're older than they're a little bit older than they should be? Again, they do mention that, don't they?
Did you say
Mum
something?
Mum said something.
Yeah.
Bring it up at dinner. Like, so.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
drops that in there.
Yeah.
But at this point, Ginger's like a 25-year-old woman, isn't she? What's that's like a...
She's 16 and Bridget's 15, and the mom's just like, so time to take.
She marks it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how people
so
like draw like lines above people's heads as they're getting older? She draws a little circle around the blood mark on the floor. This is where you when you start to...
Oh god.
Jesus. Anyway,
wow.
so they go to get the dog. The dog's dead. And then like a wolf, I don't know, it snatches Ginger away like within moments, and like she's disappeared. It's all chaos. I mean, you think she's definitely dead. I think actually Bridget catches up, and like it's like a bear attack, you know, like the Revenant, where it's kind of it grabs a bit and shakes you around a bit, and then
when she was like calling after Ginger, it made me think how ridiculous the name like seemed. You know, like when a dog's got a really weird name and then you hear someone calling it.
Yeah.
Paul. I don't know. When she was shouting like Ginger, I was a bit like, what? That's really her name, isn't it?
Ginger, I'm sure it's a real name, isn't it? For a dog. Like, I don't think. Is there?
Yeah.
Also, why does she go like when she turns to a werewolf? You kind of think the titular name is Ginger, so she should be a ginger wolf. Yeah. Why does she turn white?
Always a bugbear of mine. Yes.
Well, the werewolf that bit her was like white, right?
I think it was naked actually. It looked like one of those kind of nude rat dogs. Like some
one of those nude rat dogs, naked mole rat. It looked like.
Yeah. What's the rat called from Dead Alive? It looked like that, but bigger.
Oh yeah.
From Spider Island.
Yeah. What I don't understand is that obviously when they managed to get away from the werewolf thing, and what's his name, Sam runs it over. Like he can't have run it over to such a degree where he can't identify what it might be. Because I think they do say at some point, "What the hell was it?" He was like, "Well, I smashed the living shit out of it. I don't know."
Yeah, it's weird because it looks quite complete. Like it looks not right. Like it's not going to survive. But there's enough there to go. That's not a dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
hold a picture up of a dog next to it and go, no, it's not.
What I think I meant was it looked like it had white hair, so maybe like because it bit Ginger, she was then infected by that brand of werewolf.
Yeah, that breed. Yeah,
breed. That's it. That's what I meant.
Brand of dog. What brand of dog you got?
I got Adidas.
You're paying for the brand. Okay, so what happens next? Sam.
So they pretty much take Ginger straight home, and then immediately Bridget's like, "Let me have a look at your wounds."
Run the cold tap. Come on,
run under the cold tap. And she's like, "They're healing too quickly. What are you, Wolverine or something?" But yeah, then it all goes just gradually we just see different scenes of them at school doing various things, and Ginger's getting a bit aggressive, being a bit sexy. She's got hairy scars, very nice, and then she starts to grow a tail.
Yeah. It always gives me the heebie-jeebies, that bit, the little
yeah.
Do you remember Shallow Hal?
I thought the same thing, like George Costanza.
Which in hindsight, looking back at that film, is it's pretty awful. But that guy with a tail will always stick with me, and this kind of looked the same. Little flesh-coloured, weird tail. Yeah, and a bit when she's like trying to cut it off, she's like sat on the toilet trying to cut off her tail.
It's horrendous.
Yeah.
Oh, leave it alone.
Yeah, they get like okay, so they try to stop the transformation, don't they? I think Ginger doesn't even believe it for a good while. Like it's Bridget's talking to Sam, and Sam thinks that Bridget's the wolf. I think did they try Silver?
Yeah.
I think they tried.
Bridget tries to pierce her belly button with the silver, and she kind of freaks out, hulks out a little bit.
So early 2000s.
I know, right?
Yeah. What should we do? Should we craft it into a bullet? What should we do? Make a little necklace? Just pierce her belly button, or maybe her eyebrow.
we've all been there. We've all considered getting an eyebrow piercing. No judgment. But yes, he tries to do that, and then she kind of freaks out a little bit. But then
Yeah, it does
that's
hurt
it,
her.
I think, isn't it? It doesn't.
Oh god, the nail's not going through properly.
Yeah.
So she's like squirming around.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
Yeah, so then Ginger's like getting it on with one of the Papa Roach dudes to the point where he's even a bit like taken aback by it. He's giving it the big one and shouting at her across the hockey field. Come on, Ginger, show us your cardigan. And at one point she like climbs on top of him and
It looks like she's like ripping him to pieces.
Yeah.
But she's not. Like it's a sneaky little film technique because like it looks like he's screaming. I mean, now I just think she must have just been like biting his nipples or something. But like it cuts to her like arriving at the house and she's got blood all down her face and stuff. And then she's throwing out blood into the toilet.
Yeah.
And her brother's like, "Oh, what happened?" And he says, "I just wanted to destroy something, something little and weedy." And then she goes, "Oh, where is he?" Thinking it's the boyfriend. It's the dog Norman. I think it's Norman, right? It is a bit. It is a bit sad that dogs get such a bum deal in this estate.
what is the dog body count in this film?
5.
Yeah, that's got to be the most. One of
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah.
It's high.
It is high. Usually the rule is don't kill the dog, but 5 dogs
Yeah.
don't give a fuck, do they? Yeah, so all throughout this, like Bridget is obviously really worried for Ginger, really protective of her, kind of obviously wants to find some sort of cure, but at the same time Ginger's like enjoying her newfound wolfiness.
And...
Confidence, that's a better word.
Yeah.
That's a much better word.
What's his name turns up the next day, Papa Roach, and he's like bleeding all over. Oh no, he goes. People go, what happened to you? I got gingered, as if like he as if it was a good thing, and he's like bleeding when he pees, and he's like it looks like he's dying.
Yeah,
Guys, you're not gonna believe what happened to me. I don't want to know, mate. Fucking hell, what the fuck happened to you?
I guess like there's a hell of a lot in this film, which is like the fear of, first times for everything. Fear of your like first period. Fear of the first time you have sex.
He's like, she popped my cherry. Boys,
popped my cherry, literally.
What? Are you talking about? What?
Cherries. Cherries have got no juice anymore. So there's these loads of these weird little parallels running through it that are kind of, scary.
You said that really loud and it spooked me out a bit. So
sorry.
He's turning into a wolf now. Because caught it's like an STD, I guess. I think he just kind of disappears for a little bit. He turns up a little later in the film.
He looks like he's dealing with it a lot. Like he looks a lot worse than Ginger.
He breaks out in spots.
Yeah.
This is a teen's worst nightmare.
Also, there's definitely plenty of times where Ginger's teeth are like definitely starting to get a bit fang-like.
Yeah,
but nobody.
They're over a bottom lip, and people are like, "All right, Ginger."
Not even.
Sound.
Yeah.
Not even her mum says your teeth are looking a bit odd. Or she just goes, "All right, how you doing?"
Especially to the point where the people him and Ginger, you can tell the actors are wearing like the fake teeth because each starts to get a bit like this. And understand what they're saying. Everyone just fine, just carry on, crack on with your big fangs, and can't understand what you're saying.
Yeah. It'd be quite cool to have big fangs, I guess. But I don't know.
What's the first thing you do?
What's the first thing you do
if you have big fangs?
Open one of those 10p drinks. You know, she used to pop them with the with the straw.
Yeah.
Do it with your tooth.
Yeah.
Bubblegum flavour.
That's pretty good.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I reckon I'd get like one of those massive burgers. When it's like, I can't, nowhere can eat that. With my fangs just...
I think the fangs will get in the way. Because for that, you need space.
Actually, I think you might be right.
You need one of those kind of mouths. But that would be like... It will stop it. It will be a cage to stop the burger from getting in.
Yeah. I need to rethink it then. I didn't have a good
What
example.
you need is food like sort of square shape that fits between the fangs.
Rice Krispie square.
Yeah.
Rice Krispie squares is all you can eat.
Rice Krispie squares that are rectangular. Never understood it. Never understood it. So what else is happening around here? So yeah, Ginger has like a fight with that Trina. She beats her up in public.
Oh yeah.
What else?
Doesn't
And then
Trina-
around about
doesn't
this
Trina
time,
turn
Bridget
up?
is like, what was that?
Trina turns up at the house, right? Is that now? No.
Well, yeah, around about this. Yeah. Around about this time. I think around about this time, Bridget's also like conspiring with Sam to make this monk's hood extract thing.
Looks like Ribena. I noticed when it's done.
How lucky is it as well that they're like, oh, we need this monk's hood, and then they're just like, where'd you get this? Her mum just picks them up just
Yeah.
randomly.
Craft shop Etsy. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, done a big shop. I've got milk, bread, toilet roll, and I got some monk's hood for everybody. Lovely.
Yeah. So I don't know where I have to. Again, like this, it is done quite well because it looks like drugs, like it looks like heroin, and the way they treat it is because you inject it into your vein, and it does kind of fits in with all the fears and sort of things that go through a teenager's mind. I mean, they could have just made a tea out of it. Surely, like, why did they have to turn it into like a?
Yeah.
Into,
I think I would have done that first.
did they like boiling
know.
on a spoon and stuff as well? Like, do we have to get so druggy so soon? Try,
It's
try
like that's all he knows,
a
isn't
cold
it?
tea from it. Yeah.
That's all this guy knows. He's dealing the drugs. He's
Well, it's
making
like-
new drugs.
Do you want some breakfast? It's like cooking an egg on a spoon.
Candle, yeah.
Sunny side up. He's like shoving an egg into a syringe.
Yeah, make a nice tea out of it. Also, that's got to be easier to get Ginger to drink as well.
Yeah.
Ginger, have a bit of this new tea I've had.
Relax
She goes,
you.
"Oh,
It will
come on."
relax you. It's a chamomile.
Yeah. It'll relax the werewolf right out of you. What? I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, one evening, Trina comes to the house. Does she come to the house to like accuse
Can't
Ginger
remember.
of
She
kidnapping
goes.
the dog? Because
She's
the dog,
in the area.
dog's been killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in the area.
Yeah. I think she blames Bridget for the killing the dog. Maybe.
Yeah, she comes outside and starts hurling accusations, and Bridget's like, "We didn't kill your dog," because they didn't technically. And then Ginger comes out and just hell for leather. Just, you know what? We didn't kill your dog, but we'll have a good go at you, basically.
Yeah.
She's like wolf rage on her.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got a grey hair now. She's
Like the malin are coming through.
She got a couple of grey streaks knocking her back. Again, it's so like it's perfect for like capturing this early 2000s look and vibe. To the like even small little details like that just feel like they feel right. They feel like part of that work, part of that time as well.
Yeah.
So, I think that someone was eating a bowl of cereals, bowl of Cheerios or something before this happened, before Trina turns up. And then it gets spilled. Someone spills the Cheerios. And then, as I think they let Trina go, she slips on a Cheerio. Just one. Skids.
Just a singular Cheerio.
I think it was one of the honey oat ones, which is one of the good ones.
Yeah.
But very slippy, those ones. And then...
They are.
She cracks her head. It does. I hate to watch these kind of scenes because it does go through you. Like the corner of the worktop goes into the back of her head. She's bleeding everywhere. And then there's a humorous bit where the parents return from the shops, and they pretended they were doing another death scene. It's quite good. And then mum's.
That is
talking
quite
to
good.
him.
I don't think I'd be able to think that fast.
No,
I'd never. We'll just pretend it's a death scene, even if we've been doing death scenes for months on end. I don't think that.
Yeah.
I don't think it. So I was impressed by that. Impressed by them. Well done.
What would you do in that situation? What would you
What
say
would I
it
do
is?
if I just
Yeah.
murdered?
Well, if you had all blood all over the floor, open a.
I don't
bottle
know.
of
When they
spill a
say
Ribena
when they
bottle.
say
Whoops.
they say it's corn syrup, don't they?
Yeah.
And that just reminds me of Scream. Obviously, they use corn syrup
Yeah.
to bloody themselves in the end.
Have you ever
The
tried to
dudes.
find corn syrup?
Yeah, I was thinking, does it look literally that much like blood? I just kept thinking that. She even offers it to her dad. She goes, "Do you want to taste a little bit of the old corn syrup?" He says no because he's already got a chicken leg. But
He says, "No, I'm alright, thanks." Pulls the chicken leg out of his pocket.
but imagine she tasted it. Imagine he went, "Oh yeah, actually, I do fancy a bit of corn syrup," and then you went, "It's blood."
Psych.
Whose is it?
Would you even know? I mean, I guess it would kind of taste metally. You would know it's blood, right? I don't know. I've never tasted that much blood.
Frame of reference isn't huge for that, but I feel like you might know.
Right.
You're like, this corn syrup's off.
This corn syrup definitely a little bit off. I think you might know, but you might not be able to say you know.
This is
across as a bit weird.
AB blood.
So they put Trina's body in the freezer, and obviously there's a bit where Mimi Rogers is opening the freezer to put in her chicken nuggets or something, and she's going, and she turns at exactly the right moment to not see the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a bit nuts, isn't it?
I like her little curls as well. She's got, they're like little
Little.
antennas.
Little antenna. Oh, bless her. Bless her.
Yeah.
And then they get rid of the body, don't they? They
bury it in the
accident.
house, don't they?
What was that? Sorry.
They bury the body, don't they, in the Wendy house?
That's right, yeah. And they accidentally break off two of Trina's frozen little fingers, which is unfortunate. That she's never going to be able to do archery ever.
Or like flag someone, flip someone off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, she's dead. Unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
That
There
too.
is also that. Yeah.
And I think around this, Bridget tells Ginger she can't go out anymore. You're causing too much havoc. You've already killed some people. You knob.
Yeah. Locks
And
in
when
the
does she
bathroom.
like?
I think
Yeah,
it's the
locks her in the
morning after.
bathroom. Bit of wood. Uses bit of wood to lock her in the bathroom. I feel like she's surely. I know she does get out, but she struggled. I thought werewolf strength. She'd be
Yeah.
out of there in a flash. But bit of wood keeps her in there.
Yeah, it was very well placed. That wood.
Yeah.
Also, later in the film, Bridget just kicks one of those panels down to get through.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah, it's a bit inconsistent, like how strong she's supposed to be.
we need to know how strong
It-
this wood
especially-
is. That's the important
Especially in
part
relation
of the
to
film.
doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many? If it's one of those doors, those doors which are like really thin plywood, but then they've got like
Yeah.
cardboard between them. One of those is going down like. She'll be able to just give it a flick and that'll go down. But this
Yeah.
door is especially stitches her up, trapped in the bathroom.
Yeah, and then is there some sort of party going on in the school? I think I don't know. I can't remember. It feels
I
like
think
some sort
just-
of party.
I think just before this, Bridget uses the syringe with the monkshood stuff on the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
and-
trying to like attack a kid, isn't he? So she's like,
Yeah,
What's he
Oh,
gonna do to the
yeah!
kid? Yeah.
a kid like dressed as a dog.
He's kind
yeah.
of. Oh.
This film hates
Poor
dogs
dogs.
so
Yeah.
much. It even
Yeah,
hates
for real.
people dressed as dogs. What's that? You dressed as a dog? You come here.
Duh.
The music's a bit weird, by the way. Like around these bits where it's not like a pre-existing track, like a metal song or something. It's got these like plinky plonky organ things going on. Because this bit felt very student film, where the guy is like, "I'm a villain now," and he's doing that weird kind of voice. It kind of reminds me of early seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And there's like these like weird little key jabs, blam, blam, blam. And I don't know, sound seemed very low budget to me at that point. Yeah, but I mean, she heals him pretty quick. She stabs him in the nostril with a with the chamomile.
Because they're not sure at all how much they need to be using, what the correct dosage is to not kill someone or
Sounds
to.
like this might kill them, and then she goes straight in there. on
I
the
thought she was
test
going to
subject.
inject a little bit.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's gone too far. It's gone the other way. Now he's got no wolf in him at all. He's a normal kid again.
there we go. He just wanders off like, oh, I think I'll go to a class. Imagine him just walking into your class. Just be like, is he all right?
You're right, mate.
You're right, mate. What happens? Oh yeah, I think Ginger around about this point is just like wandering around the school, showing her boobs to people.
Literally,
Yeah, and then the teacher like sees her, goes, right, that's it. Get in my office right now, and she fucks him up.
Yeah.
Slices him up. And then she kills the poor janitor dude.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
harsh. Yeah.
Yeah. This dude, we've established he's quite a nice guy because he stops like Bridget getting attacked by that dude at one point, asks if she's okay. He didn't deserve it. He was just going about his business.
Ginger says she's like overprotective because she says like, I don't like the way he looks at you, and then she like boots Bridget and then says, I'll say hello to Sam for you, because like anyone who shows any attention to Bridget, bad or good, Ginger kind of goes into overdrive. And at this point, like I think her nostrils have changed, or no, it's her eyes. Her eyes, yeah. Yeah.
Again, nobody is commenting on it, and I know like later on she's at a Halloween party and she's looking suitably mental.
Yeah.
But nobody says that's good makeup or that's a good bit of prosthetics or anything. They're just like, all right, Ginger, you look completely different to the last time I saw you, but I definitely know it's you.
Yeah. So she rocks up at the Halloween party at Sam's greenhouse. She's now completely changed, grey hair, wolf face, weird. I mean, this kind of period, I always think of the type of makeup to make something look evil it reminds me of Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of makeup. With the vampires, you kind of just give them more of a furrowed brow sort of thing. I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know what happened. I mean, she doesn't kill Sam. She actually seems to like she doesn't want to do that. Quite the opposite.
Yeah. Right, don't they? She like pushes him down, and like just gets dead annoyed with him.
Yeah.
And then Bridget is like, Ginger, come on now. We spoke about
Bad
this.
dog. Yeah. She squirts with a water pistol. Get off.
Just before this as well, their mum just says something mental. Says something suitably terrifying.
Well,
where she's
like, a dead body
knows
in the garden.
She found a dead body in the garden. Knows that they killed someone, and she's like, no, if you leave, it's fine, but I don't want anyone to take you away from me. Doesn't she say she filled the house up with gas and just light a match and we'll start over?
Yeah.
What?
And she's got like the fingers in a Tupperware box.
What was that, Georgie? Sorry, I lost you there.
I think that's A+ parenting. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
What about the dad? They left him in the gas-filled house.
He's got chicken to eat. He's like got numerous chicken legs to get through. They're like, I'm sick of him leaving the bones everywhere.
That's his job. We
I
didn't
put
realise
ham
this,
on the table. That's his job. I put ham on the table and he still wants chicken. Sick of him. Blow him up.
Blow him up.
Blow him up.
Get him exploded. So then Bridget rocks up at the party, and then I think like Ginger snaps Sam's hand or something. Snaps
Hang
a
on
bone.
a minute. Did you just Suicide Squad the? Is this some kind of Suicide Squad?
Oh, I didn't even know I did that. So I think they ditched the mum. I can't remember what happened. I mean, it's a party. Everyone's loud and stuff, and Ginger disappears.
He's been to a party, hasn't he? I could tell you've been to a party.
Ginger Ginger runs off or something. I can't remember. Oh no. Okay, so they put her out. They knock her out somehow. How did they do that? Didn't chloroform her or something?
I think Sam hits her with a shovel.
Right.
In the
Okay.
back
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Right in the back of the crust. Right in the back of the crust. And then they drive her off. They drive off. Just before that, Bridget did the thing where she cuts her hand and cuts Ginger's hand and rubs it together and says, "Now we're both wolfified together, contaminated."
Yeah. So they shiver in the van, and then they drive back to the house. I mean, I'll be honest, this bit was quite scary. I mean, I think the first time I watched it quite a long time ago. This bit where they're walking through the house and the wolf's in there somewhere, and then she's like fully transformed now. And they get into the cupboard, and they bake up another batch of what's it, monk's hood or whatever it is. And then it steals Sam from Ginger as a wolf steals Sam from the cupboard, and she's like thrashing him against the cupboard wall. It's horrendous. Like, it genuinely is quite unsettling.
It's quite a good transformation as well, because obviously the wolf transformation in the cinema is one that's difficult, and one that obviously everyone just goes, well, what can we do that isn't an American Werewolf in London? And I think what this one does really well is that we see it happening while the van's moving, and we see like street lights
it's really good.
Flashing. So we only see a little bit of it happening, and we see a couple of close-ups, and then there's a particular shot with a close-up of her bloated face. That's pretty good. I think it's a really good transformation.
Yeah. Even this time watching it, I was like, Sam doesn't die, does he? He seems like too cool a character to just die like that. But
you're too cool to die, man.
But he gets completely, he gets obliterated.
Yeah,
like all of them does.
It is scary, like in this weird labyrinth of weird corridors that they've got going on in that house and in the basement and stuff. Like, I was definitely tense while watching this. I was kind of scared as well. A little bit scared.
Yeah, so what happens next then? So Sam's bleeding out.
Yeah, so Bridget manages to hunt him down, and then we kind of see the main, it's the full reveal, isn't it, of Ginger, really, who looks like maybe is she like trying to lure Bridget there by using Sam, or is she just like toying with Sam, trying to kill him? And then Bridget tries to like lap up his blood, I guess, to kind of show Ginger that she's not a threat, or she's one of
she's part of the pack or whatever. And I was like, just do a little bit, just like pretend, cover your lips. And she's like probably shovel it in. I was like, you're not. That's not going to sit well, is it?
It's corn syrup. This actually is corn syrup. How's this happen?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, so there's a whole sequence here where Ginger's chasing Thingy around the wood panels. Okay. I mean, the ending isn't. It's pretty standard. She's holding a knife. The wolf jumps on her and gets the knife in its side. That feels quite safe. And then the house blows up.
Yeah.
And that's it, isn't it? That's pretty much it. And it kind of like looks at all the photos of them that they've taken of them killing themselves over and over the years. Lovely memories, and that's it. But there is a sequel, isn't there? So who's dead?
There's two sequels, I think. I don't remember. Have you seen him, Georgie?
She might be a ghost in the second one.
She appeared as an apparition to Bridget in the second one. Because Bridget is a werewolf in the second one. She's in a psychiatric facility, and she meets someone called Ghost, who's played by Tatiana Maslany. And then she figures out she's a werewolf, and they try and break her out. And then that's basically the second one. But the third sequel is a prequel that's set in like 1800s Canada, and they all it's like Frontierland, and it's the same story but back in time. So
interesting.
Very interesting.
Either of them.
Okay, cool. I've got a game for us to finish on. It's called the name game. So if you don't know what the name game is, basically I've got a list of film descriptions here, and the names of these films are very similar in scheme. They basically rhyme with ginger snaps, so you have to say what they are. You'll get it. It's not very complicated. All right. So the first one, a young girl is bitten by Steve Jobs, and wakes up the next morning as a suite of small form applications on a mobile phone. Do you know what that film's called?
Ginger Apps.
Ginger Apps.
Oh, yeah, that's something to do with apps, yes.
Okay, this other film I watched the other day, it's really good. It's about a young girl who gets bitten by the most deadliest thing of all, alcoholism. And after stumbling upon the peach liquor cabinet, which is full of peach liqueur.
Oh, yes.
Schnapps.
What did you say?
Schnapps. Ginger schnapps.
Ginger schnapps. Yeah, well done.
We've all been there. Schnapps is like when you've run out of everything else. What else is in there?
Yeah.
Ooh, bit of Archers in there. Do I have to? What can I even drink it with? Lemonade. Yeah. It's not good.
This other film I watched is really good, actually. It's about a girl called Ginger. She's bitten by a werewolf. And so her sister starts taking her out for walkies every day, but forgets to bring the little baggies.
Is it craps?
It is Ginger Craps.
Oh, yeah! I was like, I have no idea what it's going to be. That's a good one, Luke. We'll let you have that one, Luke.
Okay, thank you. So this other film is really good, actually. It's quite a good one. It's called, it's about a young girl, and she decides that she's going to dye her hair, but she's not sure what colour. Chaos ensues.
Oh.
Ginger. No.
I'm taking some liberties with the title of this one, but you should get there.
Ginger. Is ginger still the first word?
Say again?
Is it ginger perhaps?
Ginger perhaps. Yeah.
Oh my god. I think you've... Yeah.
Okay.
Well done.
Wow.
Well done, Georgie. Great.
Okay, last one here. So it's a great film. It's about a young girl who's bitten by a werewolf and inherits not only the curse of the werewolf, but also the werewolf's house. 2-bedroom house. Too bad she's going to have to pay a heavy fee to the government for owning that home.
Is it ginger tax?
Close. I've really taken some liberties with this one.
I literally don't know what to say. I've got nothing. I've got nothing.
Ginger capital gains tax, guys.
Why didn't it do that sooner? I mean,
when you said I've taken some liberties with this, you didn't mean it, did you?
no.
Yeah, I'd love to see Ginger Craps. I feel that's a film that I could, I've got some experience in. Yeah.
Oh. Nice.
Okay, so George, you did really well there. Normally I think people when they come on the show, they expect it's going to be smarter than it is, but it really is quite dumb.
Hence why I did so well. On my level.
Very well. Very well.
So we normally end with rating the film between A to F. I think I'm going to go a little bit higher than I originally intended. What are you going for, Ben?
Yeah, so I'm going to go quite high, I think, because of everything. First time watching this, as I said, and everything I kind of had heard about it, I'd kind of heard it. No one had really ever said it was great. I'd kind of heard it was all right, and it was And recently, I saw someone say it was the best werewolf film, and I was like, come on.
It's higher than I would. Yeah, go on.
But like in my head, I thought there's absolutely no way, surely not. But it's, I mean, in my opinion, it's not the best werewolf film, but it's definitely up there in like the top
three, I would say.
3 to 5, top 3 to 5. There's probably more examples I'm not thinking of. But yeah, I was really impressed by it. As I said, I was really impressed by Bridget, Emily Perkins, isn't it? Well, she was great, and I think all the werewolf stuff, which can be like the most difficult stuff to get right in a werewolf film, and that sounds ridiculous, but if it's a werewolf film and the werewolf stuff's shit, then that's kind of it, isn't it? Film's a write-off. Whereas this, I think that the werewolf stuff was all really good. So I think I'm going to go as high as a B+ on this. Cool.
Georgie, what are you going for?
Very similar, I think. Like my favourite horror film ever it's one of my favourite films ever is American Werewolf in London. So I'm always going to compare any werewolf film to that.
Yeah.
But I love Ginger Snaps. It's a little mini horror feminist manifesto, and I love that. And it stands up, I think, on the rewatches. The fact they use the prosthetics, not CGI, means you can still rewatch it and enjoy it, and it doesn't. It's very of its era. I think B+. Not copying you. I thought of it before you said it.
That's so good. I'm copying you. I knew it.
I'd written down a B-, but just talking about it, thinking about it, it's really solid. So I was going to notch it up to a B+ as well. In terms of like top werewolf movies, I think American Werewolf in London, American Hairwolf is something else. American Werewolf in London is so good, and also kind of plays to my tastes as a sort of horror fan as well. And it's got Creedence Clearwater Revival in there, which is one of my favourite bands. So it's always going to be my favourite werewolf movie. And I'm trying to think what would go under that film, and I think Ginger Snaps is probably up there. I mean, The Howling is good. It's not great. What other werewolf movies? Dog Soldiers. You know what? It's good. I've gone off it a little bit in the recent years.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's the text that goes on the screen and it makes the little bleeping noises. I'm just not.
Oh yeah.
Not keen on that.
Yeah. I think in terms of action, but as I said, like I think George, you put it good. You put it well then by saying, what did you say? A feminist manifesto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that it approaches so much more going on in this film other than just a werewolf. It's got so many different layers to it. So
all the metaphors
I think that's what makes it stand
really well. Yeah.
Yeah, all the metaphors, and it's kick ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about werewolf movies because Ginger Snaps my second favorite horror werewolf movie. I think it might be.
Heather and I were speaking about it the other day, and you can list vampires for days, but werewolves, you've got slimmer pickings.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of some decent ones, but not great. This was a great film. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go, Georgie, do you want to send people anywhere, plug something, or Twitter profile, or something like that?
If I may. So our Kickstarter is still happening now. As you mentioned, you can go and find it. If you Google Fright Nights on Kickstarter, the one with the Wendigo, it's an RPG, if you're into that kind of thing. If not, go and follow the Valkyries on Twitter and Instagram. They're at Valkyries blog. It's great. It's what Heather and I run. Lots of film reviews. We're very big fans of horror. So, yeah, I would recommend, if you fancy it, having a look at what we do. Might be good. Might be cool.
Cool. We'll link up in the show notes as well for people to, if they're click inclined. Cool. All right. So thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this show, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Thanks to Kovac Cowman for our theme music. Thanks to Outcasts for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed, please consider rating and reviewing, and join the Facebook group Horror Hangout Board of Advisors. Thanks to my co-host Ben for being a right horror dude, but also big thanks to our special guest Georgie. Thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks, Georgie.
Nice
Thank
one.
you.
Bye.